Okay, I think I'm live. Am I live? No. Now I'm live. I am live. Yay. I'm just going to wait and see if anybody comes. This is Writer Unedited. It's just me. Nothing special except my party hat today. Because, as you may know already, I am celebrating my 20th anniversary as a published author this month. Yep, 20 years ago in August, my first book, A Bridge to Love, was published as a mass market paperback. There, better on that side, right? By Berkeley, and that started my whole writing career. Since then, I have published 18 books. Woohoo! Which isn't a lot for some authors, but for me, I'm pretty proud of that number. So this is the original version of A Bridge to Love, my debut novel. This is the current version of A Bridge to Love with the new cover, and it's now in trade paperback size. Of course, it's also on Kindle. You can always get my books on Kindle at Amazon, and you can get the print version at Amazon too. So, what other announcements do I have? Oh, well, first I have to say happy anniversary to me. Happy anniversary to me. Happy anniversary to me. 20 years as a published author. Happy anniversary to me. All right, I'm going to pull this a little closer. Although it cuts off the top of my party hat. We'll just have to deal with that. Okay, what other news? Oh, so for you audiobook fans, oh, Mary Jane is here. Hi, Mary Jane. So good to see you. Thank you for coming. As usual, it's telling me my key frame rate is too low, which I do not understand. There's another person here. Who's the other? Oh, no, they just went away. Please comment if you're here so that I know who's here, because I love seeing who's listening. It's fun. And I feel like I'm talking to you. Like I'm talking to Mary Jane right now. So Mary Jane, I don't know, do you like audiobooks? Because I have good news. The audiobook for Royal Kaleva Gabrielle will be releasing on September 1st. Yay, it's up for pre-order now. I will put the link in the comments below. I'm so excited that it's going to have an audiobook because, when you're self-publishing, you don't always do that because it's expensive to produce audiobooks. But luckily, RB Media, I think I got that right, RB Media bought the audio rights for all of the Royal Kaleva series, so they will all have audiobooks. Yay, that makes me very happy. So September 1st, if you are a newsletter subscriber, I will be giving away some free download codes for the audiobook. So make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, and I will also put that in the links below when this is done. So as you may remember from last week, in celebration of my anniversary, I have put all three of my standalone novels on sale on Kindle for 99 cents. I wish I could put the print copies on sale, but they cost what they cost, and I keep the price very low on those anyway. So A Bridge to Love is on sale for 99 cents on Kindle. Shower of Stars is on sale for 99 cents on Kindle. And my one really, really, really suspensey romantic suspense, Music of the Night, is on sale for 99 cents on Kindle. These are all my single standalone books. They are not part of a series, and sadly, evidently a lot of my readers don't know they're there. But they are. Yay. Okay, so I always show you artifacts. What I call artifacts are sort of physical things that go with my books. So when A Bridge to Love was published, I was a newbie, and I felt kind of, I was a beginner. I didn't really know how my book was, right? I mean, somebody wanted to publish it, so that was a good thing. But the publishing world is a little rough, so I do enter my books in contests. And back when A Bridge to Love was published, it won the 2004 Golden Leaf Contest for Best First Book. This was the first award I ever won for a book. I was so excited, particularly because it was given by the New Jersey Romance Writers, which is my local writing group. I'm still a member all these years later. I was actually a member even before this, but to be honored by my local writing group was just huge for me. I mean, it just gave me such a boost. And then it won another award from people who didn't know me. Sorry, it's hard to do this. Heart of Denver Romance Writers. It won the 2004 Aspen Gold Award. So I was pretty excited. So I took these plaques off my brag wall. I have a brag wall. It's hidden away in my, what I call my swag room, which is where I keep all my swag, obviously. But sometimes I just need to go and look at what's hanging on the wall there. And these awards are hanging on the wall along with all my other awards for all my books through the years. So another fun thing. So A Bridge to Love is actually, there's a big dramatic ending scene on that takes place on the George Washington Bridge in that book. And I can't remember how I found out about this book. I think maybe the author of it contacted me. So the man who wrote it was Michael Aaron Rockland. And the title of the book is The George Washington Bridge, Poetry in Steel. And it's a nonfiction book about the George Washington Bridge. But he went looking for mentions of the George Washington Bridge, significant mentions in fiction as well. And he found A Bridge to Love somehow. And I think that's why he contacted me, to make sure he could quote it. And I was actually thrilled when the book came out, because he didn't tell me ahead of time. So he was a professor of American Studies at Rutgers University. And he didn't tell me, what he was going to say about the book about my book in his book. So when it finally came out, I, of course, had to buy a copy. Diana's here. Oh, I'm so glad everybody likes my hat. Mary Jane loves my hat. Diana loves my hat. It's kind of silly, but, what the heck? It's fun. It's fun to celebrate, even with a silly hat. And, of course, it's fun to celebrate with a noisemaker. Skoda evidently has decided he doesn't want to be here for lives because of the noisemaker, so as you can see, his bed is empty. Okay, so I'm going to read you, and I apologize, it's a little long, but I think it's kind of fun, what Michael Aaron Rockland said about A Bridge to Love in his book about the George Washington Bridge. And I will warn you that it definitely has attitude about romance, but mostly it's actually kind of complimentary, I guess, kind of. So here we go. A Bridge to Love by Nancy Harkness might appear to have feminist implications because its female protagonist is an engineer. But the novel is actually a chick lit romance in the Berkeley Sensation series with unforgivably cute lines, such as, Randall quirked an eyebrow. I didn't know that was a cute line, but evidently he didn't like it. Nonetheless, the George Washington Bridge is more central to this novel than any other I've found. So there, Harkness, a resident of Glen Ridge, New Jersey, obviously did some research on the nearby bridge. Yes, I did a lot of research, and in fact, I even went there. I walked across it, all the way across to New York and all the way across back to New Jersey, which is, in fact, quite a fascinating experience. It's extremely windy up there. It's extremely noisy. Oops. Why is sorry. My screen just completely blacked out. All right, I'm back. It's extremely noisy, it's extremely windy, and it vibrates a lot, particularly if there are any tractor trailers going across. But it's a really cool experience to walk across it. Highly recommend it. Okay, so I did do my research. On the cover of the book, Kate Chilton's dreamy face is superimposed over a photograph with the Little Red Lighthouse in the foreground and the GWB, that's the George Washington Bridge, looming overhead. Kate loves the George Washington Bridge, and it proves to be a pathway to an initially problematical love, thus the double entendre of the title. Okay, so just to show you the cover again. So that is, I told you last week I was really worried, sorry, left hold in my hands, that they wouldn't put the George Washington Bridge on the cover, but they did, and that's the Little Red Lighthouse, I can't talk, on the cover. So that's what he's talking about. All right, back to his book. Following the standard romance formula, there are two main male figures. One, a fair-haired nice guy the female protagonist wishes she was attracted to, but feels no passion for. The other, a dark, mysterious, sexy, oh yeah, he's sexy, Randall, but dangerous and seemingly unknowable man who is finally revealed as Mr. Right when, with her irresistible allure, the protagonist tames, if not domesticates him. He falls in love with her and through her with the George Washington Bridge. I thought that was very cool he said that. Kate is newly widowed with 2 young boys. Now she needs a job, and she lands one designing a bridge, for her the ultimate professional prize. Happily, she muses that she can still think like an engineer and that the forthcoming project will be like building the George Washington Bridge itself. Okay, that's a slight exaggeration. I think you may have taken that out of context. Her bridge was nowhere near the project of the George Washington Bridge. For years, Kate has treasured blueprints of the George Washington, and now she takes them out and traces, quote, its soaring piers and curving cables with familiar affection and admiration, end quote. Othmar Ammann is her all-time hero. You have to wonder what the modest and shy Ammann would have thought about that. I think he would have been thrilled, personally. On her way home to New Jersey one evening with her new love, Randall Johnson, Kate says, and they're driving, by the way, they're driving up the highway that I'm going blank on. Oh, God, what's it called? On the right-hand side of Manhattan, where you can see all the bridges on the East River. Oh, sorry. I'm just blanking out. Anyway, Kate says, I love this route home. It's got a whole symphony of bridges along it, and it all crescendos to the big guy, the George Washington Bridge. That's my favorite. I've never known anyone who had a favorite bridge, Randall says. You don't know many engineers then, Kate replies. One of our best Sunday afternoon outings with the boys was walking across the George Washington Bridge. See, because I did it. David, her deceased husband, loved the simple functional lines of it. The boys loved being 200 feet in the air. I loved everything about it, but especially the fact that mankind could conceive of and create such a grand structure for such a practical purpose. Randall responds, I see that I'll have to re-examine my view of bridges. Maybe I could join one of those Sunday afternoon outings. But before wedding bells can ring, Kate and Randall are hunted down by killers tailing them on the upper level. They're actually not killers, but okay. He's being a little dramatic. They abandon their car and run along the walkway. Kate knows the bridge so well she finds a hiding place for them on the underside of the upper level steel support girders, the ones Ammann used to stiffen his slim roadway. And that's true. That's because I walked across the bridge and took all kinds of pictures and said, okay, you could climb up here and you could hide here. And I was pretty proud of myself. There, she, quote, literally held her breath and thanked her lucky stars that the Port Authority budget didn't allow for illuminating the towers except on holidays, end quote. That used to be true. I'm not sure about now. In the requisite scene where the heroine, however liberated, must be saved by the hero, Randall, with rippling muscles, that's his interpretation, holds Kate dangling over the river with one arm while supporting both of them by clinging to a girder with the other. I don't honestly remember that. I assume I really haven't. Kate's bodice isn't ripped, but her pantyhose are in pretty bad shape. That is true, that she rips her pantyhose. Not Randall. He doesn't rip them. Finally, the Port Authority police arrive, the killers flee, and the enamored pair return to their car to discover that in the emergency, all traffic in the westbound lanes had been halted for them. I love this part. As Randall starts the car, Kate says, go slowly. I've never been the only car on the bridge. I want to enjoy the view. After what you've been through, you want to look at a bridge? Randall responds. It took care of us, didn't it? She asks. I guess it did. We know that Randall's conversion to loving Kate and the George Washington Bridge as well is complete when he exclaims, look at the size of those cables. All right, so he quotes things out of context, but it's fun. And I mean, I got a whole 2 pages in this book. I was pretty impressed, particularly because he said that my book is the only one that he could find that really uses the GW Bridge as a setting. So go me. Does anybody have questions, by the way? I'm going to just type in a random letter here just to see, because only 2 comments are showing up. So please feel free to type in questions. I always love them. I have 3 viewers. Who's number 3? Number 3, type in a comment so I know who you are. Oh, now I'm down to 2. All right, scared you away. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Okay, what else is going on? Well, I just wanted to let you know that my publisher has decided to put a whole bunch of books on sale on Kindle this month. It's for the whole month of August. Right now, the CEO Buys In is on sale. The All-Star Antes Up is on sale. The VIP Doubles Down is on sale. These are all on Kindle. Second Time Around is on sale. Second Act is on sale. Those are all on sale in the US. And then in the UK, they have got The Money Man on sale for 99p and The Hacker on sale for 99p. So you need some beach reading, vacation reading. You can get it cheap this month, thanks to Motlake. Okay, so how about rating news? Well, I think I was actually sort of doing this last week too, but I am about to send off the bonus novella for Royal Kaleva Gabrielle, which will be free to all my newsletter subscribers. So again, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. It's called How to Plan a Royal Wedding. It's obviously about Quinn and Gabrielle, a lot about Quinn, because she's the bride, so she gets stuck with a lot of the planning. And as you can imagine, Quinn is not really a big wedding kind of gal. But I've revised it, and I'm about to send it off to my copy editor / proofreader, and I've designed the cover myself. I think I said that before. I'm going to do a reveal of that in the newsletter probably next month. And then you guys will get it as newsletter subscribers. I will say this, you really have to read Royal Kaleva Gabrielle before you read How to Plan a Royal Wedding, because there are a lot of spoilers on how to plan a royal wedding. It was unavoidable. It's really very much a sequel to Gabrielle's story, Gabrielle and Quinn's story. You could almost call it, I mean, it's a whole novella, so it's not short, but you could almost call it an epilogue, a second epilogue. So, all right, and what else? So my critique group worked over the first 2 chapters of Luisa's book, which I am hard at work on. I have way more than 2 chapters done, but you know, it's a slow process to critique. And they came up with some really great ideas to make them even better, more of a sense of urgency. So I decided I had to revise them to incorporate those ideas before I could continue reading farther along in the book, because it does change some of the dynamics. So I'm hard at work doing that, and this is kind of typical of what writers do. So you write it, and then you revise it yourself, and then you let somebody look at it, either your critique group or a developmental editor or a copy editor or a proofreader, and then you write it again. You edit it, you revise it, you edit it, you revise it. It's a very iterative process. Someone said all writing is rewriting, and that's true to a certain extent. You gotta have a first draft first. Obviously, you have to have something to work on. Nora Roberts said, I can fix a bad page, I can't fix a blank page. So yeah, it's got to be there first. But there's a lot of fixing that goes on over and over again. I also wanted to let you know, particularly if you're a newsletter subscriber, that I am switching newsletter services, which actually shouldn't affect you too much, although the newsletter may look a little different. It won't look hugely different, but it'll look a little different. It just, you know, my existing one just kept raising their prices, and even though I really liked them, I just couldn't justify it financially. So turns out that is a lot of work, though, on my end. Nothing on your end, you'll be fine, but on my end, it's a lot of work to switch newsletter services. So I'm trying to do that right, thanks to Tammy Lebrecht and her newsletter Ninja courses. She is terrific. Anybody who has a newsletter, I highly recommend that you either read her book, take her course, or both, like I did. Well, she has a lot of courses. I took 2 courses, I think. Anyway, she's terrific. And again, you won't notice this, but it's something I have to do. The sort of back end of my website is starting to crumble because it's old. And although the front still looks pretty and still, you know, again, you won't notice the difference. Every now and then it just kind of falls apart because it's on WordPress. WordPress will do an update. And because my website is so old, it messes with the back end of the website. And literally one time, I don't know if you're familiar with my page that has all my books on it, but the books are very nicely organized and they have brackets, you know, that tell you what series they're in. And, you know, it's all pretty and easy to figure out what's going on. And literally the brackets turned into just black lines all over the page, just running around all over the page. And the books were all sort of mashed together in a heap on one side. I mean, it would have been funny, except that it was my website. So luckily, I got my tech person to fix that real fast, but that's going to keep happening. So I have hired someone to revamp the back side of the website. The front should look much the same. It'll be a little different, but be updating some of the graphics. But again, a lot of work on my part. Shouldn't bother you guys, but just to show you what the life of a writer is like, that's all the stuff that I'm working on. So, any questions? Thank you guys for loving my hat. Diana says no questions today. Okay. I think that's about it for me. I don't have anything else to talk about. So I will end this broadcast. Thank you so much for coming, the folks who are here. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for telling me that you're here. I love knowing that I'm talking to people. Makes it easier for me. And thank you for celebrating my 20th anniversary as a published author with me, because that's kind of a big milestone for me. I'm pretty excited about that. So I am going to sign off. And oh, I just want to mention it's Book Lovers Day today. And I did post on Facebook pictures of my own bookshelves. I'd love it if you would add pictures of your bookshelves, because it's nothing better than seeing people's books, right? It's the coolest thing ever, because we are all book lovers. Even though I read on Kindle a lot now, there are still some books I just need to have in my hot little hand. And I'm not even talking about mine. Just, you need to feel them, right? Oh, good. Diana says you got yours there. Great. I will go check that out on Facebook as soon as I end this. So happy Book Lovers Day to all of you wonderful book lovers out there, because I know that everybody who watches this is a book lover. And you are my people. You are my community. You are my group. And I embrace you all. All right. I'll quit blithering now. So good to see you guys. Take care. And I'm signing off from live.